Hello, geospatial enthusiasts. I'm your host, Bhanu. The much-awaited annual Esri user conference has just begun at San Diego Convention Center. GeoBuiz will bring you a special report every day on what's happening at this week-long show. But first, let us take a look at the top stories from across the world today. Google's self-driving car project director Chris Urmson has revealed that earlier this month a car slammed into the back of a stationary autonomous Lexus car at a speed of 17 miles per hour. The Google vehicle has stopped at a traffic light in California when it got rear-ended by a car which hadn't braked at all. Google's self-driving car's braking was normal and the vehicle behind it had plenty of stopping distance, but it never decelerated. Urmson says that the driver may have got distracted and not watching the road ahead. That driver reported minor whiplash injuries after the incident, but it was the vehicle that wasn't so lucky. Its entire front bumper fell off. The Google car, however, got away with a few scrapes on its bumper. Urmson tells that since the project started in 2009, his autonomous cars have hit 14 times. Guess how many times has the self-driving car been at the cause of the collision? Not even once. Meanwhile, a recent study by the University of Michigan Transportation Research Institute has found that consumers prefer to keep control of their cars. The majority of the 505 respondents seemed to prefer vehicles with less automation and expressed concern about riding in autonomous cars. Now, this survey sample size seems too small to be definitive, but at the very least, it points out how many people overestimate their driving abilities. Take Twitter user Carmen Zayas for example. He says, "No thanks, I will trust in human beings. Driving is a human endeavor, not technological. Why do we keep trying to make ourselves obsolete?" Another user, jsmith8505, was concerned about the self-driving cars following traffic rules to a T. He says, "They stop on yellow, that's a problem. Imagine a Google car slamming on its brakes in front of you right as soon as the light turns yellow." Moving on, NASA has funded new satellite-based tools which will help in detecting wildfires across the United States more easily and also predict their behavior. The new tool is operating at the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Forest Service Division. It uses data from the Suomi National Polar Orbiting Partnership satellite to detect smaller fires in more detail than previous space-based products. Suomi's Visible Infrared Imaging Radiometer suite increases the resolution of fire observations to 375 meters, up from the previous 1 kilometer resolution. The enhanced fire tool also enables detection every 12 hours or less of much smaller fires. Additionally, it provides more detailed and consistent tracking of fire lines during long-duration wildfires. From the field of precision farming, we are learning that fertilizer company Potash Corp's online resource economics has unveiled its first nationwide nutrient balance analysis. The research highlights a major nutrient application deficit across the United States because soil nutrient removal rates continue to outpace fertilizer application in most states. To let farmers get a clear view of the conditions in this area, the research is presented in the form of an interactive map. Farmers can see the data on a state-by-state basis. The researchers aggregated existing nutrient removal records, fertilizer consumption information, and manure data from the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Association of American Plant Food Control officials to better understand regional soil conditions. Meanwhile, the Water Authority of Dickinson County, Tennessee, has adopted a GIS integrated software application called InfoWater. The software is developed by Smart Wet Infrastructure Solutions provider InnoVice. The authority hopes to support its large-scale, enterprise-wide geospatial water distribution network management needs through InfoWater's advanced GIS analysis and hydraulic modeling. The software will enable the authority to command real-time simulations, analyze water quality conditions, determine firefighting capabilities, perform online calibration, evaluate energy cost savings, and design unidirectional flushing programs. What more, InfoWater is packed with ArcGIS thematic mapping functionality, which allows the authority to turn dry database information into colorful, fully dimensional visualizations. Social services technology provider Caseworthy has added spatial data reporting as a standard feature in its application suite. The functionality will allow users to analyze data using maps to identify an area for reporting. It would also allow organizations to graphically outline and identify any territory via a mapping image. Users will also be able to narrow down geographical areas to a zip code, city, neighborhood, street, etc. The spatial data reporting feature utilizes latitude and longitude points that are automatically captured for every address stored in the database. The software graphically produces information to populate charts, graphs, and reports in a format which is easy to understand. We will now slip into a short break, but when we return, we will take a look at what's happening in the rest of the world.
Once again, Trimble is leading the way in positioning technology with the new Trimble R8S GNSS receiver. An entirely new way to look at receiver possibilities. Simply choose the configuration and features you require today. Then, add features as you need them tomorrow. It's the ultimate in scalability. With this innovative receiver, you tailor your system to your job, to the way you work. Choose the level of configuration that suits your needs. As your requirements change, the Trimble R8S can adapt. You simply add functionality whenever you want it. Each Trimble R8S comes standard with integrated Maxwell 6 chips, Trimble 360 tracking technology, and more. All to keep you productive and expand the reach of your GNSS system. Plus, it offers our exclusive web UI for remote monitoring and the new Trimble DL Android app for GNSS data logging. And the Trimble R8S maximizes productivity by easily integrating with the Trimble S-Series total stations and our innovative V10 imaging rover. For ultimate field efficiency, combine the Trimble R8S receiver with a Trimble controller and the intuitive Trimble Access Field software. Trust Trimble Business Center to help you edit, process, and adjust your data. It's the kind of solution you have come to expect from Trimble. We've been setting the standard in positioning technology for more than 30 years. See how we're raising the bar again with the Trimble R8S GNSS receiver.
Welcome back. Aerial mapping company Blue Sky has tied up with hazard mapping specialist JBA Risk Management to make available at Blue Sky Map Shop a high-resolution flood map for entire Great Britain. The comprehensive flood map comes at 5-meter resolutions and covers 6 flood perils: river, coastal, surface water, groundwater, canal failure, and dam break. It is a leading tool for flood insurance underwriters and is used by over 70% of the UK insurance industry. Blue Sky's Managing Director Rachel Titmarsh says that by making high-resolution flood map data easily available, the company wants to arm those who prepare for and manage flood events with continuous and detailed information. Also from the UK, we are learning that Arithmetica is making 3D model project collaboration easier by using Sketchfab, an online platform for sharing 3D files. The technology automatically converts very large point clouds into manageable 3D models. It then uploads PointFuse Pro-generated textured models to Sketchfab, allowing users to share and visualize content in true 3D. With more than 200,000 3D models online, Sketchfab is being described as doing for creators of 3D content what YouTube did for video makers or what SoundCloud did for musicians. In another development, Allplan, a European vendor of BIM solutions, has revamped its software. The new version, called Allplan 2016, increases flexibility in 3D modeling and supports efficient and intuitive workflows. One of the highlights of the software is the integration of the ParaSolid software 3D modeling kernel developed by Siemens Product Lifecycle Management software business. It gives users greater freedom and precision in creating volume and surface models as well as in modeling of engineering works. With many improvements to the user interface, the new version also ensures smooth workflows by making modification of 3D objects easy and improving representation quality in the animation window. From New Zealand, reports are coming in that BRE Academy will collaborate with research, testing and information company brands to deliver BIM training in the country. The BIM education program is part of an ongoing collaboration between construction industry groups and the New Zealand government to increase BIM adoption. Delegates will receive information on relevant national and international standards, methods and procedures to help them implement BIM Level 2. In Israel, Volcani Center has recently acquired 2 Sniper helicopter drones from Spain-based Alpha Unmanned Systems. The Volcani Center is the research arm of Israel's Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, and it will be using these drones for precision agricultural research. The drones will become a part of the ministry's strategy for crop management and farming optimization using the latest UAV and imaging technology available. The Alpha drones can easily integrate different sensors and technology, including GPS. They lend accuracy to procedures and give the farmer the information he needs in real time for a quicker response to crop needs. That's all we have for you in GeoBytes today. Find us on www.geobiz.com and follow GeoBiz on Twitter. Stay tuned for an exclusive GeoBiz report of Esri User Conference from San Diego.
Geospatial industry is evolving with time, adding newer dimensions, converging with other technologies, and expanding across verticals. Feel the pulse of its growth story. Catch technology innovators, system integrators, business drivers, and policymakers share their knowledge, experiences, and ideas at GeoBiz Leaders Summit. Join the knowledge pool.
Hi Geo folks, welcome to San Diego. We are at the ESRI User Conference 2015. We'll bring you exclusive coverage from the event for GeoBuiz. We are currently inside the convention center where you can see at my back everything is set. The stage is set for tomorrow's plenary sessions. Also we have the all-important map gallery running over here, and then we also have the GIS Solutions Expo, which will be at the pre-registered bag pickup area where you can see the GIS superhero just beyond my back, inviting all the guests. There's a giant screen running the UC Selfie Contest. This year also, ESRI is inviting people to participate in the UC Selfie Contest. And you can participate by using the hashtag UCSelfie on Twitter. We are here at the ESRI store this time, joined by Erin. Erin, can you let us know what's new at the store this time?
So we do have some new t-shirt designs this year, as well as bringing back Map Man and Map Girl, but they have been kind of restyled this year. We do have some new offerings kind of along the baseball lines, as well as our jerseys, jackets, everything that we've had as well. We have wonderful mugs and water bottles and commuter mugs, as well as a number of promo items that are perfect to pick up and take back to your friends and colleagues in the office. We do also have our third-party and Esri press books, as well as a great staff in here that can tell you what you need to know about those books. So we do have some really great things in here this year.
There is also Where in the World contest being organized by Digital Globe, Trimble and Leica Geosystems, where the users are being asked to identify 12 satellite images and their locations. So where do you think this snow-clad image is from?
I think that's probably McMurdo Station in Antarctica.
Oh, are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, what makes you pretty sure of that?
Well, there's not much vegetation there, if any, and it looks like there's a port of entry for a large ice-breaking ship there, so I think that's good. That's a pretty good candidate right there.
How many images were you able to comprehend from here?
Well, I had to look at all 10 of them first, just to make sure that it wasn't throwing any curveballs at me, but I think that's the one.
We are in the Geo launch currently, where people will come in, relax. Today the pre-conference events are also going on. We have so many events running in parallel over here, talking mostly about the nitty-gritties of using ESRI tools, applications for users and developers. He spoke to one of the users participating in the event, and here is what he has to say.
My name is Christopher Long. I'm here from Chesterfield County, Virginia. I'm a GIS analyst, and so I'm really looking forward to a lot of the Python classes here at the conference. And we're getting ready to launch an open data site, so I'm excited about viewing all the open data sites and all the classes about that as well.
Being held from July 18th to 21st, the ESRI Business Summit has come up with the aim: increase your company's value and serve your customers better. Organized by ESRI's business team, the event had a focus clearly on the highly regulated sectors of insurance and banking. The event saw some interesting talks on aspects ranging from weather to disaster alerts, to insurance to risk management. 3D, analytics and social media integration for businesses was also an emphasis. Here are more details from interesting talks that happened at the ESRI Business Summit. Dominic Taroli spoke out on the importance of the new 3D GIS engine in the ArcGIS platform and spoke on various applications.
2015 will also be the year when 3D will come across the Esri platform with fantastic releases like ArcGIS Pro. We'll have 3 city engine releases. We have runtime, we have online, we have JavaScript and so on. And this simply means that we have a complete workflow to create, design, manage, visualize, analyze, simulate, and what is becoming more and more important is that share and collaborative element. And for somebody like me who is almost a decade in 3D, that's kind of a big deal.
From the insurance industry was Christine Kaz, where she spoke on the benefits American Modern Insurance Group is seeing from GIS applications. GeoBuiz spoke to Rosemary Raddick from AccuWeather, where she spoke on the new enterprise offering for the customers, integrating GIS, analytics, and real-time weather data.
With AccuWeather's portal solution, we have all the information that our clients need in one source. So with less than 3 clicks, all of our clients can go to our portal and they can see all of the information that they need to maintain a safe and secure environment for their employees. And with many of our clients, they actually have different sets of thresholds and requirements for warnings. So we're able to create custom alerts and warnings that are specific to our clients. Many times with railroads, we have different thresholds in various levels of miles per hour where they're at risk for blowovers. So they want to make sure that they're getting the alerts that are very specific to them and specific to their location. So we actually have meteorologists on staff who are monitoring each of our client locations to see what's happening for that specific location. Rather than getting a warning that's issued just for a general county area that may not apply to their specific location, our clients get warnings that are site-specific and very meaningful to them and very actionable. And we have all of our products and services integrated within this portal solution, and we also have plans to continually add more services that add value to our clients, including analytics, showing them how they can see the impact weather has on their business so they can be proactive to minimize the negative effects of weather and really maximize those positive impacts that weather can have on their business.
We also spoke to Tim Piaz from Highland Software, where they are trying to integrate document management system workflows with GIS enabled by ArcGIS platform.
Hello, Tim Piazza here with Highland Software, the creators of OnBase. We're here today talking about our integration with document management workflow and how it relates and integrates with Esri. This particular case, we're talking about an insurance solution here. In this situation, one of the insured's car was damaged by hail. Once he files his first notice of loss or he files his claim, the adjuster goes out, takes photos of his car, takes a look at the claim, gathers all the relevant information on the documents. The documents are then loaded into OnBase. Once those documents are on base, they're able to be retrieved through Guidewire or any one of his claim systems that any company has used. From there then, they can take a look at these documents, geolocate them saying where was the accident, where did it happen, and they're able to actually take that information and overlay weather information to make sure, was there a hailstorm there? If there wasn't a hailstorm, why is he filling out this claim? Is it a potential fraud? And you can take a look at all that other relevant information. They can also pull in information such as where does he live and where is the repair shop? Right? So they can also see, is he going to a repair shop closest to him or not? From here we can actually take a look at the demo. Okay, the first thing they're going to do is go ahead and log into OnBase, and they're going to start searching for the first notice of loss directly in OnBase. Here they can enter either a date range, they can enter by the actual claim number, they can then take a search or look for it by the actual insured's name. So once they enter that information, they'll search. They'll find the exact notice of loss or all the losses associated to a certain date range. Once they've selected those, they'll send them to the map. They'll look at the addresses and geocodes. They'll see them showing up on the map here. Once they're on the map, they can go ahead and take a look at all the Esri features and functionalities available in ArcGIS Online. What they're able to actually do is then, from the map, they're going to go ahead and change the color of these to make sure that they stand out against the base map. If they have different types of claims they want to do, they can make them different numbers, or different colors, excuse me. So maybe they have red as far as house damage, or maybe blue as far as cars. From there they then brought in the weather information to go over these. They can zoom in to that particular claim and say, yes, this is inside of a storm. I see in this red area the wind strength and the hail is of a certain speed that it was could definitely damage a car. They can then also bring in other information here, so maybe I want to actually look at what the buildings look like or what the satellite view is. They can take a look at that. They then can click on that claim and bring up the first notice of loss and all that other relevant information to that, so they can then review and say, yes, there was a hailstorm there, the wind was that bad, the damage was that bad, it is something we're going to go ahead and mark as an actual claim. They're going to go ahead and change the label then on that to say claims that are inside of the weather area that we should pay, and then they're going to actually save a copy or an image of this and put it into that claim file so they know if there's any more investigation or anything else needed that they have a copy of this and they've done their research.
Anyway, to start up MapJam was presented at the Business Summit, and Jack Gonzalez, the co-founder, spoke to GeoBuiz on what their innovative offering was.
Hi, my name is Jack Gonzalez. I'm one of the co-founders of MapJam that was actually started in Australia, but we're now in San Francisco. So we're a startup wanting to work with Esri. Esri is a fantastic company providing all the sort of back-end GIS analytical tools. And what we've provided is we've actually made MapJam a really simple mapping platform for anybody to use. So we're more of a consumer-friendly facing mapping product for marketing, for events. So for example, if there's an event happening in a park with multiple locations over the time, you can simply just drag and drop a point onto a map and then add rich media and content. And we've made location sharing really, really easy. There's 9 ways to share, by SMS, by email, by Facebook. We've actually also created a Facebook mapping app as well. So for example, if you have 1,000 locations, you don't actually have to have 1,000 Facebook pages. You can have one map with all the locations there. So the Esri maps are on Facebook. We have a real-time API as well that allows you to create 1,000 or 10,000 maps. We've actually, in the last 3 to 4 weeks, saw the Huffington Post starting to use MapJam, and so we reached out to them and asked them what they were wanting to do. And it's a 3 to 4 months program that we're going to be working with them to do an immigration. So it's basically where people have come and where they are now in the US. So it's rich media visualization, photos, videos, with some colored pointers. We're going to be in the Eventbrite app market as well. So for 90% of the customers in Eventbrite, the maps that they're using is fine. Let's say, for example, an event that has multiple locations, well, they'll use MapJam. The Tripping has 5 million rental properties around the world. And so what we're going to be offering them is, to the host, is a sort of a sense of discovery. What's around my house? You know, what's the favorite cafes? So it's little points of interest around that. So that's MapJam.
Can you tell us a little bit about Geo and what it is that you do in the organization?
We have a lot of obviously formidable competitors in the mapping space.
But saying human geo, I was like perplexed. Why the name human to the geospatial angle?
If we think about land, I mean, land is a key core to prosperity.
Thank you, Hugo, for speaking with GeoBuiz and Geospatial World. Welcome to GeoBuiz. We have in our studios an esteemed guest, James Vihan Rens, the CEO of Riegl USA. Welcome, Jim. Thanks for joining us in GeoBuiz. I'd like to first start asking you the one single question is, Riegl is quite specialized in laser scanning solutions. Can you tell us how you're taking this laser scanning revolution forward with Riegl's products and solutions?
Riegl has a specific technology with regard to LiDAR, and the LiDAR that it develops and the type of technology and approach methods that it uses is quite specific to the mapping industry. So LiDAR itself has application to a number of different industries, but in the case of Riegl at this stage we really focus on mapping. And the Riegl technology, the LiDAR technology, the signal processing approach that Riegl takes is very specific to provide the most precise results, the highest quality information, but in addition to that, additional information that's available due to the sophisticated processing that Riegl does with its data, so that the users have the ability to be able to extract additional 3D information.
I see that Riegl has a very specific laser scanners for different purposes, starting from aerial, terrestrial, even marine and industrial. Would you like to distinguish how these are very different from each other and how they suit to different purposes?
Yes, of course. Riegl at this stage is probably best known for their airborne segment. We call it the ALS segment. And within the airborne segment, we've got a couple of key products. So one of those is the LMS Q1560. It's a very sophisticated instrument. It utilizes 2 laser sources to map the surface of the Earth, and it's really superb for difficult mapping assignments, urban modeling, mountain ranges, things of that nature. So that particular instrument or niche for wide area mapping, urban mapping, country mapping, things of that nature is very important to Riegl, and it really demonstrates the success and the prowess of the Riegl organization, not only in terms of the use of LiDAR, but the design, the engineering, and the production of these fabulous systems that are fully integrated and meet the requirements of our users to be able to just get out, map, capture the data that they need, turn it around as quickly as possible, and deliver that to their customers.
I see laser scanning, you're also specializing on an unmanned systems as well, is that so?
Yes, of course. Within the mapping industry, UAVs are an unprecedented shift in the overall market. According to some of the information that I've seen, somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 million units of UAVs have been shipped from DJI in China, which means with a natural percentage of market share around the world, there's probably a few 100,000 of these here in North America doing mapping with camera systems and things of that nature. So what it's doing is it's introducing a low-cost, very value-added service from people that own these systems into the mapping world, and it's shifting around the markets, and people are trying to assess what it is that they need, what their requirements are, and what's good enough to be received as a deliverable from these types of systems. So we have seen this particular movement within the industry, and we've developed first some LiDAR sensors. So the VUX1 is our first LiDAR sensor that was designed and developed for this. It's a very lightweight, high-performance system. And then associated with that, we also, because of market demand, developed the Rycopter. So this is a fully integrated, fully turnkey UAV solution with LiDAR mapping capability, along with cameras, video capability, things of that nature.
When you say a solution, what exactly you intend to convey when you're saying it's a complete mapping solution?
Some of our sensors are just simply that, sensors. So we have clients and customers that will purchase this sensor. They might integrate it with GNSS solutions, camera solutions. In addition to that, Riegl offers fully turnkey integrated solutions. And particularly with regard to the UAV market, we are providing all of the sensors and the UAV to be able to go on out and completely map and develop and create what we call the perfect point cloud. So what we're doing is providing that point cloud to the mapping specialists that focus on this particular area to be able to capture the geo data that they need and then turn it around to their customers in a format that their customers desire. So generally that means going through some third-party software package where the feature extraction can be done most appropriately and in a manner that their clients really want to be able to digest or consume that geo information.
Directly, the data can be input into the workflows of the customers, is that so?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. Is Riegl also taking some turnkey projects in flying for your customers and creating this kind of data output for the customers?
Always we're pressured and pushed to be able to do this.
Okay.
We do not offer that as a service. Riegl is, of course, very active with their customers to be able to participate in unique and special projects that allow us to demonstrate the technology, demonstrate the capability of these systems. But we do this in conjunction with our customers. we really do not set up a separate effort or organization to do service on our own.
But if the purpose of my question is because we see an increasing trend of the hardware providers turning into service providers, at least with respect to data and data solutions. Is Riegl also looking forward to in the nearest future to move into that direction?
There is a little bit of a movement. It's kind of an interesting, let's call it small portion of a river that's moving off in this particular direction, where a manufacturer or a developer of a system will actually go on out, collect the data. They'll do it sometimes on their own or do it in conjunction with customers, and they will process the data and they will serve up those deliverables to different people. And it's always a niche. Within the marketplace, there's always someone who really desires that, or there is a technology that forces those vendors to provide that sort of a solution. But what we find is that for our particular purposes and our particular customers, really it's much more specific, it's much more local. The data that they are looking for needs to be fresh. And so there's a real timeliness associated with the data collection, and that data collection is really what our traditional customers do the best.
How do you see this technology taking off in the United States? Because you're heading the United States operations of Riegl, and how do you see the uptake of laser scanning and LiDAR technologies in this country?
I've been around for quite some time, so I've been able to witness a number of the different segments that have developed. Some of the first segments were the airborne areas, then the terrestrial market arose. I think you've seen those on tripods, things of that nature. Mobile systems arose in this process, so we put these things on vehicles, and they're mapping roads, bridges, buildings, urban areas, elements of the mapping community such as that. And now we're seeing the UAV element come in. And it's really very exciting because what's happening is early on we saw a trend in the democratization of data. So in other words, at the very early times, people were collecting data, transforming it into deliverables for customers, and the point cloud was by and large left aside. And what we saw emerge over the years was the requirement for customers not just to get a simple 2D deliverable, but they wanted to have all of the additional data and information that was collected because that's what they were paying for. And so between the natural development of the technology, you're seeing million hertz laser systems out there, where back in the 90s, 10,000 shots per second was perceived to be pretty dramatic and quite a high-tech system. And these days you're seeing millions of shots per second trying to define the surface of the Earth and additional information from that. And that has launched a number of areas where we see LiDAR being used in so many different segments than we anticipated, and of course being used in all the traditional segments that we served from the early days. So the development and the push and the adoption of LiDAR is going to continue. However, the key aspect of all of this is that it's not going to continue on its own, it's going to continue in a multi-sensor way. So the future for LiDAR is with all the additional sensors that are out there, except in some interesting other areas where you'll see LiDAR sensors placed on cars to assist in the intelligent car of the future, things like that, some of those neat, exciting directions.
Absolutely. So you see LiDAR sensors being used in autonomous cars and other future technologies as well?
We do. I believe it's difficult to say. You know, we look into the crystal ball, we look into a crystal hoping that it tells us the future. It doesn't always, but I expect that the automotive industry within a short amount of time will be the largest single LiDAR market in the world. And this will be with very inexpensive sensors mounted all over that vehicle, giving it positional information in a real-time way back not only to the driver but for potentially autonomous vehicle control.
Which other segments do you see as the most potential for laser scanning market?
I think that airborne is going to continue its trajectory. It's very important. We have a new segment within airborne. It's not new, but it's the bathymetry area. 40% of the world's population lives along the shoreline. Much of the world's wildlife rely upon the shoreline. And the shoreline is also an area of constant change due to storms and emergencies, things of that nature. So that's going to be a growing and emerging significant area on the airport side of things. But the mobile area is going to be extraordinarily powerful. And when I say mobile, I mean that think of it as kinematic as opposed to just being on cars. Think of it as moving. What's happening is the laser sources available today are so fast and powerful that you can put a laser system on a human being and walk around. And to have that ability to be mobile or kinematic in that sense of the word is extraordinarily powerful, and that's going to be an important emerging area in the LiDAR mapping arena.
Do you see the indoor mapping area as one of the emerging markets for laser scanning as well?
Certainly I do. There's a great phrase that's out there in the marketplace, and that phrase is indoor is every big as outdoors, right? But yes, the ability to be able to map buildings and to do it efficiently and quickly and precisely is very, very important.
Can you cite the direction of this technology moving? Yes, we are having new paradigms each day. LiDAR is one technology that has had a very steep growth curve. I believe. Where is this moving forward in terms of penetration, and how Riegl is planning to capture that market?
There's so many different emerging areas with LiDAR. You've got very inexpensive, low-cost systems that are being developed. You've got very expensive, high-cost, high-performance systems that are being developed, specific niche areas. And for Riegl, what is critical is that we provide the data that has the best possible precision and additional attributes or additional information that's available through our signal processing to our customers. Our customers are in the mapping community, and within the mapping community, XYZ RGB is ubiquitous. You can find it anywhere. You can find it at Google. You can find it at any number of mapping sites. And to have some sense or generalized information, mapping information, is very, very important for the consumer element of the world. But for our customers in the mapping community, they need to have very sophisticated amounts of information that they need to provide their clients so that their clients can do additional 3D analytics on the information. So our clients are not just about capturing some point clouds and getting some rough approximation of where things are located in the world. Our clients need to know very specific things about buildings. They need to know which way the door opens and closes. They need to know all about windows. They need to know all about roofs. They need to know a specific location in the world where those things are located. They need to know if the exterior is crumbling. They need to know the color of the building. They need to know a lot of different elements. And so if you think about taking a number of different sensors ranging from LiDAR to RGB camera systems, multispectral camera systems, or if you even think with regard to LiDAR, multispectral aspects, different wavelengths of laser sources will provide different reflectivity or amounts of information that's in a different fashion. All of these elements are required by our mapping clients to be able to extract the most amount of information they can to facilitate the ends of their customers.
I think, as you have rightly pointed out, the future will be a multi-sensor environment and leading to democratization of data. Thank you so much, Jim, for joining us on GeoBuiz Live. Thank you.
if we would have an app which would be able to map excellence and high-level capacity in geospatial information, and if this app would be geolocated, and you would click on that app on your smartphones this morning, then on the world map, you will see the Lisbon as the world capital of geolocated information. So I saw this nice presentation of Lisbon as a capital of sea. For this week, we can declare Lisbon as a capital of geolocation as well. So it's impressive. I learn from my colleagues having more experience and being a longer period of time in JRC than it all started 20 years ago in a small workshops which started in 1995, organized by the Joint Research Center. Dreaming, hoping, and this is a reality today. Well, it started all 20 years ago with some dreams and hopes, and I'm sure that, Alessandro, if you look back 20 years ago, you would not, or you never dreamt about this kind of development as it is today. And I'm sure that if we meet in 5 or in 10 years, we would be surprised that we haven't been able to dream about all these applications and all these capacities which will exist. So because exactly this is about that. It was about making better regulation in environmental field. But now we are not talking only about better regulation in environmental field, but we are really looking at a new type of economy. We are looking at smart cities and the capacity to have smart cities, to have a smart, intelligent transport, to have a high precision agriculture. These are all these dreams which we have today. And these are all those dreams which are linked to geolocation. And these are not only dreams, because if you look at the latest Deloitte assessment of economic impact, so we see that the estimate is that by 2020, geolocation data will generate 500 billion in consumer value added worldwide. And for Europe, it's estimated that the share of this 500 billion will be about 200 billions. So it's not only about better regulation in environment. It is also about that, but it's about economy, it's about daily life, it's about extremely important part of our daily life or daily life of our citizens. And the European Commission is a very important driver of geospatial information infrastructure. Let me mention at least 3 big programs which are run by the European Commission and where the European Commission, the European Union, is a driving force. First, Copernicus program for 2014-2020, 4.2 billion of euros, which are helping the businesses which are supposed to make better data. And already now, I can tell you as a Joint Research Center, we are responsible for Copernicus emergency program. And just to demonstrate what that means, you all remember, it was not that long time ago, we had this tremendous earthquake in Nepal. So then what we did 7 minutes after this earthquake, our systems in the Joint Research Center started to locate the satellites and take the images of Nepal. And within few hours, we produced the first maps and which were able to map the damages in Nepal and give those maps to our services of the Commission, European Union, emergency services, and services of humanitarian aid. So that is possible because we are receiving 4 terabytes of geolocated information per day from the satellites. Very soon we'll be receiving 8 terabytes. And that's only one program. There is another program which is even more ambitious, and that's the Galileo program, which will represent, if it is fully deployed, 30 satellites and associated ground infrastructure to help with navigation. And then we have biggest worldwide research supporting program, which is Horizon 2020, which is having 80 billions of funding. Among that money, there is quite a lot of money for the new innovations and research in the field of geolocation. This digital single market vision adopted by European Commission a few days ago is the most ambitious program or policy commitment in the field of digital. So there is a hope that this huge market, which represents 500 million of consumers, will not be destroyed by different interests, business interests or national interests, but will create a common market which will allow the businesses, services, and better e-government to flourish. I was just 2 days after adoption of digital single market in the panel about this topic. And I was surprised by the young entrepreneur when he was explaining when his company wanted to grow, when his company wanted to go beyond the borders, and when he started to list all these obstacles the company was facing just going into 2 or 3 European countries. It was just amazing to see how this is possible. So then this vision will be fulfilled in following 18 months with different policy and legislative proposals, and we hope very much that we will be able to remove all barriers which are now preventing us from using a digital single market and full exploitation of market represented by 500 million of citizens. I mentioned that in my view, when I looked back at Inspire and all what led to adoption, formal adoption of Inspire, that this is one of the nicest policy innovations which Europe put forward. And as I said that in '95, those guys starting to dream and starting to organize the workshops, they probably did not dream about the Inspire. And I'm sure that those adopting Inspire did not dream about the fact that Inspire will become a lingua franca of Europe related to geospatial information. Now, as I mentioned, we are talking and thinking about the smart regions, smart cities, and very recently I saw the initiatives about smart villages even. So this is a smart agriculture, smart transport is not possible without this. And in Joint Research Center, we are helping and supporting about 20 different European policies with our knowledge and technologies. So, and then we are inspired by Inspire, and we are thinking now that the same approach, if we are persistent enough, can be applied also to the health information, which can, and combining the environmental geolocated information with the health information can improve dramatically healthcare prevention of many important diseases, because we will see at least one important driver of diseases, and that's environmental driver. So then I'm sure that we can dream now, but this dream will not be completed, because this what is being built right now is the basis for many different applications which we cannot estimate their impact right now. So the added value of Inspire is huge. And as I said, it's very difficult to estimate what will be the final impact, whether this will be impact in the quality of the government, quality of the decision, quality of the processes, but also the quality of the business and services to the public. There are many challenges, and we in the Joint Research Center, which I have the pleasure to lead for a certain period of time, we are responsible for technical implementation or technical support for implementation of Inspired Directive. We have several challenges. And obviously, this is an open data and knowledge management. I mentioned 8 terabytes of data, which will be likely to come and will be likely to receive in the following months. So this is a first challenge. Then we have the Galileo, how to manage the data, how to make the data accessible, available for this good, important, and not foreseeable different applications in the future. Then we have a big challenge which is linked to technologies. We all have smartphones, and we all know that the smartphones and applications are geolocated. So this wealth of information which we can receive, it's on one side very important, very positive, but on the other side it's a huge challenge. How to deal with this, what to do, and how to involve all different stakeholders which are producing this kind of support data, how to involve them, and what we can do in that respect. So these are challenges, and we are working on those challenges. But it's not only inspiration. We got inspired before, and we are thinking how to meet these challenges. And I'm very pleased to demonstrate to you how we are meeting those challenges right now and in those days inside the European Commission with cooperation. And this is this initiative on My Geos. This you will find if by chance, some of you here, you apply for the financial support in a first call where we got 58 applications and we selected 10 out of these 58. You will find the results on our website. So then I'm proud to announce these 10 winners of the applications which are about to help us to collect the data, but also to show the new and innovative uses of geolocated data. And in cooperation with DG Research and Innovation, we will be continuing with these applications. So we will be continuing this year in November and in March next year as well. So then we hope very much that those applications will be inspiration, will be direct help, but at the same time inspiration for the others how to use and what to do in this respect.